This is All Indiana Sports.
Yes, we are all Indiana sports, and so that definitely means that we have to talk about the Indy 500.
The greatest racing spectacle on the planet.
The most attended single-day sporting event that there is.
350,000.
They don't report their numbers because they don't have to.
Well, it seats over 300,000.
It's blacked out anyway, and I will say, it looked to be the most full that I had seen it in quite some time. Mm-hmm. All the infield full, all the stands full.
Even with the weather.
Right. And so, sat through the weather, came back, still for the end. It's a good thing that they did, because I cannot believe it was the closest finish ever. I didn't think anything could top Al Unser Jr. and Scott Goodyear that I saw in '93. We watched Marco.
Close.
Yeah, we watched Marco get passed right at the end by Sam Hornish. We were there when Ryan Hunter-Reay barely beat Elio Castroneves. We've been a part of so many of these so close ones.
Yeah.
This was incredible. Even though it wasn't necessarily somebody we were rooting for, we were screaming at the end.
It was a ton of fun. Well, in this episode today, that we are going to talk about 500. Mm-hmm. Nothing else really to it. Talk about the close finish. Talk about some arcs that some drivers had, some troubles they had to go through, and some of the troubles that they may have not made it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because he's Liam. I'm Kevin, and we are excited to present to you the All Indiana Sports Podcast. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at All Indiana Sports, and don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. So, I admittedly missed the middle of the race, right? I was doing some other things.
A little bit like beginning middle.
Yeah,
is what you kind of missed.
Right. So
but you got the later half.
I got
of
the
middle.
beginning of it. I saw the first few laps. There's nothing. If you have never been 100, there is nothing in your life that you will experience like the start of the Indy 500. I guarantee it. So, take that for what it's worth. Go visit. It's a bucket list item. So I saw the start of it. I didn't make it to the first pit stop, but I saw at that point both, I think Joseph Newgarden and Connor Daly were the biggest climbers at about 5 spots early in the race. Why are we focusing on them? I will tell you why I'm focusing on Connor Daly, and that is because Connor Daly followed in my footsteps, so to speak. He went to the same high school that I went to, and then he now works for the same race team that I used to work for.
Except he actually drives.
He drives.
Yes.
I took video, but we rode together in a driver's car in the parade.
Yep.
You thought the parade was for you. You were 3 years old.
Hey, I was 3 years old. That's my excuse.
You were waving like, hey, everybody's here.
Who were we with you?
It was Mike Conway.
Right.
Before his terrible wreck in the short chute coming out of 3, which pretty much ended his desire to do any.
Yes.
And it was a terrible incident because he was going great, and I thought he had a real shot. This was the year after we were in his car, but Ryan Hunter-Reay ran out of gas and came down too quick on him because he ran out of gas and just spun out into the took off and took the nose into the fence. It was not great.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
So Connor Daly followed in my footsteps, but Indiana native, so I had to follow him. Dreyer Reinbold, small team, only does the Indy 500, and I think we talked about this last time. Could be a disadvantage, but could be an advantage as well.
Very much so.
It was an advantage for most of the day. He was in it for a large majority of the time, but when this part I saw was the biggest mover, and it was great because he was right up there to begin with.
Yes.
So that was the Connor Daly. I missed the whole kind of middle of it, so I came in right at a terrible part for this next driver, but you saw all of the race up until then, so fill us in.
Joseph Newgarden is my guy.
Yeah.
I've met him before. He was at a Starbucks. We were at a Noodles and Company.
Yep.
Just Oh, wait.
If
You're Joseph Newgarden.
If you know the Traders Point on 86th Street area, you know exactly what we're talking about. Starbucks, Noodles and Company, right next door.
Yep.
So,
he was there. Me and my sister got a picture with him. Really cool. But I've been following him ever since then, kind of. And he's won 2 Indy 500s. His most recent one in 2023. Four.
Yes.
Four,
yeah.
because it was the year before this past.
And that was another close one.
Yep. But it was really upsetting. He started in 23rd out of 33, which is not that good at all.
Right.
And I was kind of surprised because in practice and all that stuff, the car looked really good. Obviously, I know what he can do as a driver. And racing for Team Penske is you don't take that lightly. That's a very big thing.
Mm-hmm. It comes with a fair amount of expectations.
Yes, but you have normally the equipment, the car to do all the stuff that you are required with those expectations. Newgarden can definitely fulfill that. He's won a series before, an entire IndyCar series before. It was the year he won the 500. First time? I thought it was his past.
No, Palou.
Okay.
Yeah, Palou's been on it there.
So he started 23rd, and he got all the way up to 4th at one point. Great climb from him, but pretty much as soon as you came back and started watching, Newgarden crashed like 5 laps later. I was like...
It was right on a restart, coming out of 4 on a restart. Got a little high, or got a little low into turn 4, and
lost the grip.
Kind of lost it.
Yeah, and I laid down for like a couple laps. I was like, "There's no point in watching anymore." Like this is like I wasn't expecting him to do anything, and then he started doing something. I'm like, "Wow!" It's kind of like the Pacers whenever they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Wasn't expecting anything.
Right.
But then they started. I was like, "Oh, wonderful, great."
Mm-hmm.
But Newgarden crashed. It was really upsetting. So I was like, okay, I gotta find somebody else to vote for.
Yeah.
And I didn't find anybody else to root for. I found someone not to root for, being Alex Palou. He wins everything. It's annoying. But I do want to shout out somebody else. Alexander Rossi started 2nd place. Him and Palou back and forth, 1st and 2nd for a long time.
Yep.
He had a crash.
In practice.
Yeah. He was driving with a bolt in his, more recently, bolt in his hand, bolt in his foot. He had to get in. He was on crutches the entire time. Had Palou helped him in the car to start the race. Major trooper from him.
Yeah.
And he was racing really.
All of that pre-race, your mom and I were thinking, this is not good. This can't be good. He should not be driving, and this could be dangerous for himself and for others at this point. Thankfully, it was not. But
his car stalled out.
I get it's the Indy 500, and so, but if your car stalls out, it's because you don't have the use of both of your. I mean, it's gonna happen probably. Yeah. So yes, shout out to him as well. It's a good thing you stuck with it though, because what a finish!
Strategy. There's so much strategy.
Such strategy. So. Let's talk about that for a second, okay? Right after I think it was on the Newgarden crash, some people chose to go and pit again.
Yes.
While others stayed out. The leaders decided to stay out. Some of the other people decided, let's get off strategy and see what happens. So they pitted again. So now you have different people hitting different fuel gauges and fuel mileage to try to get to where they need to be at the end of the race. That landed these 2 groups, and when the first group, who was up top, I think included Palou, right?
It was Palou, Malukas, Connor Daly was up there, and Pato. No, not Pato.
No, he was on the other strategy.
Somebody else.
Was it McLaughlin?
McLaughlin, yes.
Yeah. So and so you had this group that pitted, and so therefore the other group was now at the start of the race. But it's still focused on this group, probably because there was better racing. But what did I tell you at that point?
You said they may be focusing on the wrong group, because there was a lot. There was yellows that came in. There was some reds that ended up helping out the drivers at top, and and then thankfully, a little bit after you said that, they did switch the focus to because they're like, oh, wait, hold on. These guys are in the lead, and they only have to pit one more time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they pitted, and then there was a little bit more focus on that group.
And the group that was off strategy was Armstrong, Pato O'Ward,
Rosenquist,
and I think that was it. It was just those three. There may have been one other one.
Yeah,
but there was
those are the main three.
Yeah,
and then there was a crash in turn 2. Surprisingly, not surprising, turn 2 is treacherous.
All the turns.
They did a special before the race. You can go out and watch. I think it's even on social media about turn 2 and all of its perils and the reasons for it. So, turn 2, there was an incident. There were 8 laps left. Credit to IndyCar. I think this is sort of a predetermined thing. Okay, if it gets to this point in the race, we are going to shut it down and red flag, pull everybody into the pits. We've been to a race where this happened, and we didn't know what was going to happen if they were going to do this. I think it's a good thing. Okay, some teams might think this is a bad thing. Why? Do you know why?
I mean, well, obviously, if you're in first place whenever the race ends, you win.
Okay.
So, like, there's the obvious thing of, if you're in first place, that's good for you, but if you're anywhere else, it's probably not the greatest.
Right. So, these race cars are set to perform, and they get them throughout the race. They're making adjustments in the car, on the nose, whatever it is, on the pits. They're getting all these things adjusted to the temperature of the vehicle. Everything is now running super hot because your tires are hot, and your suspension, your gear shifting, everything, all hot and primed and ready. Now, you're in an incident where you need to come to the pits and you wait and you sit there and everything kind of cools off, right? The driver is actually a little bit more warm than normal. Everything on the car kind of cools off, and so it can change the complete setup of your race car. Now, before this, Rosenquist was in a battle with Pato O'Ward, and he was having a lot of trouble holding on to his car if he was out of the groove at all, and he was really struggling with it.
He was down 7 or 8 milliseconds.
Yeah.
So,
which
doesn't sound like a lot, but
no, but
that's
like
a
he
lot.
was getting loose out of 2. It was not cooperating with him. I think that this is maybe what allowed
because they shut it down at 8 laps. Right?
I think his car cooling down actually helped him, whereas a lot of times it would be perceived as the opposite of that, a harmful incident.
Yes.
So they shut it down, 8 laps. Then they bring it back out. They race for a little bit more.
For 5 laps,
right.
And then whenever it gets to 4 laps to go, somebody crashes.
Yep.
We're in another caution, and then
they clean it up real quick, and they say,
we go 1 lap.
We got 1 lap. And at this point, remember, you had off strategy, and so these off strategies now, the people who were in the lead that had to pit one more time, they're 20, 30 seconds back.
Mm-hmm.
Once there is a yellow, they had all of the lapped traffic pit.
Cleared, yeah.
And so they're at the back, and you have 14 cars on the lead lap that are all coming down, bunched up, ready to go. It no longer matters about strategy. It's just what you do on this last lap.
And by the way, Malukas had some great racing in between the green and the caution because he was starting 10th or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And he got up there and he was actually battling with Rosenquist.
So let's take a look at one of my favorite things. We will be able to see the race and the announcers call the race on this last lap. Let's check it out.
Strong goes now. Foot to the floor. Malukas goes with him. 1 lap to decide it all at Indianapolis. Malukas hunting to the high side, around the outside, into the lead. Malukas leads with 1 to go. Rosenquist round the outside of his teammate through 1, into the short tune in 2.
Teammates battle side by side,
Too
but out
wide,
front the
outside,
young
but he wasn't able to
American
handle
chasing his first win off turn 2.
David Malukas goes to defend. The MSR driver still side by side, but will that play into Malukas' hands? And here comes Pato O'Ward. Malukas is out in front.
Side by side behind.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Malukas has to defend from Rosenquist. Great run off the final corner. Here comes Rosenquist. Malukas defends. Who has it? Over the line. Who's it going to be?
Outside.
It's Rosenquist. It's Rosenquist.
Oh my goodness!
Whoa. Oh, what a month of May.
Well, you just won the Indy 500. You just won, buddy.
Incredible. Absolutely great call. Great finish. So glad they did that. It is incredibly difficult to pass on a turn, let alone pass on the last straightaway after the turn. There is nowhere else you can go. But he managed to get just enough of a drag and a pull, did Rosenquist, off of Malukas, so he could slingshot himself around. And I think the one thing Malukas didn't do enough of, he made a little jerk to the outside, I think, and it's very strict. Like, you can't block. But I think he needed a little bit more to the outside that would have prevented Rosenquist from really having much room out there. But again, what Rosenquist was able to do in that moment, outside the whole lap, taking the longer way around in that part of the racetrack that is full of debris at this point, when his car couldn't even handle it earlier. Absolutely great racing. There's this thought of what's more important, the race car or the driver, and sometimes it just comes down to, can you drive the car? And then you get that. And incidentally, there wasn't so much attention on the first and second differential. There was less of a difference in time between third through fifth than there was first and second.
Yeah.
They all came across virtually the same, and fifth came up again to claim third place, Scott McLaughlin.
Yeah.
So, congratulations to Felix Rosenquist. What a race. Again, if you have not been to the Indy 500, we could not suggest it more. But we felt a great responsibility, as the All Indiana Sports Podcast, to bring you all of the Indiana sports, except maybe a few Purdue and Notre Dame things that we just don't really care about.
I use Superior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's all that we have for today. I think your mom and I are going to be back tomorrow talking about Fever basketball. And today was re-signing day for Major League Volleyball, so we will talk about who got signed and maybe who got left out.
Yeah, well, this is Liam.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay all Indiana.
This is All Indiana Sports.